Hi everyone, welcome back to my studio. I'm Pat Turner, owner-operator of Turner Candle Co., aka Turner Homestead. Before that, NC Farm Girl Gifts. And I could probably, if I could remember, the list goes on further than that. So today's video is a little bit different than some of my previous ones. I want to talk to you about why someone as old as I am, which I just turned 69 January 19th of this year, this is 2022, why I would start a new candle business in 2022 plus start a new YouTube channel at the same time. So I've made me a few notes. I was going to give the pros and the cons, but some of it I just didn't take time to write down. I'm going to try to just talk about it like I would talk to a friend, and just kind of give the pros and cons and see how it stacks up. Maybe you'll learn something, maybe you'll get inspired and figure that, hey, starting a new business, a YouTube studio or a YouTube business and a candle business or any kind of business is not just for young folks anymore. Stay tuned and I'll tell you why. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is give the pros for why I think it's a good idea to start anything later in life. It doesn't have to be this, it could be anything that seems to be a challenge to you. So, but my challenge is starting a new business. Now, if you can see in the background, I've done a lot of stuff in my 69 years. I've always loved to make things from when I was a little girl, and I climbed up on top of a freestanding cupboard. I was trying to get a nail. I was going to make something. I'm not really sure what I was trying to make. And I pulled the whole cupboard down on top of me. And I have a scar up here on my forehead now. It could have killed me, but it didn't. So it didn't stop me from trying new things either. I remember in the 3rd grade, it was the first time I ever picked up a paintbrush. It was watercolor. And Mrs. Morrill had us paint a picture. And I'm not really sure. I probably was looking at another picture, but I painted a deer in the forest. And she liked it so well, she held it up. And I remember the deer's eyes ran. And she was able to help me touch it up and made it look okay. So, but I mean, we were so poor. I really, other than painting a little bit in school and occasionally getting a watercolor set for Christmas or something, I never really did pursue it. But over the years, I found that I have got to be creative. I have got to be doing something that makes me feel good, something that I enjoy. Things that I make, I don't necessarily want to keep myself. I'd rather give them to someone. Number one, I have no room for everything here, so that's why over the years I kept accumulating stuff. And then in 2019, I opened up a little shop, which is here in this building that you're looking at. I opened it up in October 2019, and me and my daughters, they also contributed some stuff that they made. And we were open through Christmas and did fairly well. The shop is right in my yard, and it really doesn't have a presence to the highway, to people. It's not an easy way for people to get at. And I just didn't think I did as well as what I should. If I had been in a better, you know, they say location, location, location. Well, I thought I was in a pretty good location because the Butterball turkey plant is about 7 miles down the road from where I stay, and there's thousands of people that work there. But I really didn't get customers from the Butterball turkey plant. Basically, it was my friends and neighbors that already knew who I was that would stop. Other than that, I really didn't get any traffic unless I put my business out close to the highway, and then they expected it to be a yard sale. So I didn't really make much money there. I learned that I could sell household items and maybe candles or something that I wanted to mark down, or pictures, just anything that I didn't mind selling at a yard sale price. So that's how that went. And then when COVID struck, the end of 2019, the beginning of 2020, this place is so small, I really didn't want anybody coming in it. So I shut it down, and I thought, well, I would just have an online presence. And Well, I'll talk about that a little bit, about what an online presence I have had over the last several years. Okay, I'm going to apologize for having to look at my notes here, but I do want to kind of stay organized. So first thing I want to do is tell you what the positives are of starting a business, and particularly at my age, which is 69 years old. Now, I retired when I was 62, so I have had a few years to kind of play around and see what I do want to do with my life. And starting a candle business, this is what I want to do now. This is my passion. So the first positive of starting a business later in age is that I now have time to work on my projects. I was a registered nurse. Well, I became a registered nurse when I was 41 or something like that, and I worked until I was 62. So I didn't have the longest nursing career that there was, but I did enjoy it. But the whole time I was doing that, I still was missing something. I was missing being creative. Sometimes it's really difficult to be creative and be a nurse because you can't follow outside of certain guidelines. You know, you got to stick with how to do things instead of coming up with your own ideas. Sometimes your supervisor wouldn't go along with that. So now that I'm retired, I do have time. I have plenty of time. But even though I have plenty of time, I also have plenty of time to goof around, to sit and watch Netflix all day long if I want to go shopping if I want to. So that could be a con, but also right now I'm just saying it is a positive. If I don't get out here at 8 o'clock and work, that's nobody's fault but my own. So now I do have time to do the things I want to do, to experiment. It doesn't take as much time with my husband cooking. We don't eat as much as we used to. And I eat totally different than what I used to eat. I eat whole food, plant-based, so it's a very simple diet that I eat. My husband, he follows suit, similar, a little bit different than what I do. But I'm not cooking full meals like I did when I was, had a growing family. So the next pro is, even though my income is a lot less, it doesn't take as much money as what it used to. Regardless of how much money I made as a nurse, I could find a way to waste just about every bit of it. Number one, eating out was a big deal. I spent a lot of money, sometimes, which it may not seem like a lot to some people, but this is rural North Carolina. $20 a day to eat out for breakfast, lunch, and supper. Probably was at home most of the time, but I could spend close to $20 a day just eating out. Now I don't eat out. I rarely eat out. I'll fix breakfast, lunch, and dinner here, and it's very simple what I eat. So the cost of food is definitely down a lot. And since COVID has hit, that made it even easier not to go out. We never go out to eat. We used to go out a lot and eat pizza and buffets, all kinds of things, and we do not go to gatherings like that. And since our diet has changed, I doubt that we ever will. I can't eat pizza anymore, or I don't eat pizza anymore. I don't eat buffets because I don't eat oil, meat products, dairy, and practically everything has those ingredients in it. So it doesn't cost nearly as much to survive now, for whatever reason. I don't get out as much. So before, I was driving at least 5 days a week going to work. And sometimes I did home health, and I would have to use my car for home health also, even though I'd get reimbursed for it. But I did do that, so that was a big expense on my car, maintaining it, gas, tires, all that stuff. Buying uniforms and shoes. I could never find shoes to fit. My feet hurt me so bad that's one reason I went to another job like home health, so I wouldn't have to be on my feet in the emergency room all the time. So now, I don't even go out to socialize much anymore. So I'm not even buying new clothes. I hate to say it, but I don't really dress up much. The way you see me now, this is pretty much the way I dress. I'm not saying that's the way it should be, but that's the way it is right now. Now, I do still spend money online. I spend way too much money online, probably. And what I'm spending it on now mostly is my candle business. Candle supplies have really gone through the roof. I did make candles back in 2019 and probably 2018 whenever I first started getting ready for my business here. And I know that things, if I had have known everything had gone up so much, I'm not really sure I would have started this business again. There's other things I could do that seems to be a whole lot cheaper. But like painting for one, I was on a painting kick, and a tube of paint will go a long ways. But it's just not really what I wanted to do. Not all the time, not full time. I really enjoy making the candles and the candle melts, and I just want to make it work. I really want to turn some of this income money that I'm spending, I want to turn it back into income just so I can keep doing what I'm doing. So that was the number 2 pro, is that it just doesn't take as much money to live off of when you're retired. Not for me, it doesn't, in rural North Carolina anyway. I mean, all this is just my subjective feeling. I can't speak for anyone else, but this is just what works for me. Okay, the 3rd pro is that I just don't have the responsibility of raising a family like I did. If you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, you may have little ones, and it does take a lot more time for them. Both of my daughters, we've been blessed. They have grown up to be strong, very responsible women, and they're able to take care of themselves and their families. I help out anytime I can. I have one granddaughter, and I love helping her. She's almost 18, so yeah, she's pretty self-independent right now too. But just the responsibilities of taking care of other people besides myself and my husband, who's pretty self-sufficient himself, I don't have that to contend with. So again, anytime I don't spend time doing what I need to do out here in my business, it's all on me. It's usually not because of my family. Other than I will back up and say my mom is 93 years old, and she did really give us a scare recently. She had COVID. She had COVID pneumonia. She went in the hospital, but she has come out, and she's doing really well now. So I did have to take care of her. I didn't have to, but I did because I wanted to. And that's the thing with having your own business. You can do things like that. So even an online store, which I'll talk about in a few minutes, if you have to, you can put those on pause anytime that you feel necessary. So the 4th positive thing that I can think about, since I spoke about my 93-year-old mom, is keeping your mind active. She is 93 years old, and her mind is practically as good as it was when she was 30, the best I can remember. I think she was probably 24 when I was born, so I don't remember much past her being 30. But I think the reason she is so sharp now is because she does crossword puzzles every day. Now, she has macular degeneration and she can't see very well, but she'll go somewhere where there's a lot of light, like at McDonald's, sitting in the bright sunshine right there at one of their big windows, and she'll work crossword puzzles every chance she gets. That's what she does. She's very good at it, and she says it's because once you've done it, after a while you start seeing the same ones over and over. But regardless, I think it's really kept her sharp. So I remember as a nurse, they told us, working with people that have dementia or Alzheimer's, or even trying to prevent it, is to learn something new all the time. Like if you're right-handed, try to button your shirt with your left hand. If you go one way home from work, then maybe take a different route. And these days, instead of using GPS, try to figure out how to get somewhere like we used to, the old-timey way, which I can't even imagine how we did it back then. But, anytime you do something new, your brain is building new pathways. Now, I'm not a neurologist or a scientist or anything like that, but it does keep the neurons in there firing. So even something like reading, I think it helps, but I don't think it's as good because it's kind of like an automatic thing. But something that makes you think, like the crossword puzzles or Sudoku, or like me, starting this new business. And I mean, I've had businesses all my life, my husband has, and I've helped him. That part of it doesn't really worry me much. But trying to get it online, and me, 69, I did not grow up with computers. I grew up with a transistor radio, which some of you have never seen in your whole entire life. So a computer, I guess I was probably, I'm not really sure, I think probably about 2000 was about the first time I got my first computer. I was working at a local mental health hospital, and I remember working with a physician assistant, and all they could do was talk about a computer. You got to get a computer. And I didn't think I ever would, and I did, and it was a process learning that. Now I have conquered computers a little bit, not a whole lot, but making the YouTube videos, now that's a whole different game. I have learned to work KineMaster, KineMaster, everybody says it a different way, but I am able to use that. I'm not expert by any means, but I've muddled through it. I've learned how to put my videos on YouTube. There are some there. Not many people have seen it. I think my highest video right now has 30 people have looked at it, and a couple of those was myself and my daughters maybe. So I'm very new at this. Whether I'll ever get up to 40, I don't know. But I'm having fun, and I want to keep going. So number 4 definitely is keeping your brain busy. And making candles, you got to learn about the different wicks, the different types of waxes, the different fragrances, trying to keep it all organized to where you're buying your different supplies from. It's a lot, particularly when you're all by yourself. And I do get frustrated, but I have not quit yet, and I don't intend to for a while. Okay, the 5th positive thing here is that I have a sense of excitement just thinking that I may really pull this thing off. I don't know that I will. I have watched a lot of people in the candle business, and the ones that I've watched in the candle business, a lot of them have videos on how to start a business in 2022, 2021. And I can't say I really recall any of them saying that you need to have a YouTube video to go along with it. But I'm kind of thinking that the more successful ones do have a YouTube video, a vlog or whatever you want to call it, of their videoing them making candles and just starting their business. Now I know YouTube is just one platform, but it seems to be the one that I started with, that I'm more familiar with. I know there's Instagram, Facebook. Of course I have Facebook, but I really haven't promoted this business on Facebook. I did some of my others before, and I just hate to bombard my friends and even the public with something until I'm absolutely sure that this is where I'm going to go. I want it to stick this time. I really do. So, but I do have a sense of excitement that one day I may really make something happen here. So, I know how important it is to live every day to its fullest, because we're not promised a single minute. We're really not. And I sort of have a sense of urgency because of my age. I just feel like I need to get things done now. And that's not a good way to feel when you're testing candles. So I have to tone it back a little bit and tell myself that I will get there. It just takes time and patience, which I don't have a lot of. Okay, the 6th positive is that even though I've told you I only have like 30 people looking at my videos, I do have a sense of accomplishment because there's some people that have never made a YouTube video. So I feel good about that. Will I ever have a lot of followers? I don't know. And I'll tell you why right now when I get to the cons. But right now I feel good about what I've done so far. And I think that's definitely a positive. So that's most of the positives I can think about. I'm sure there's others. But now I'm going to tell you what I think are the negatives or the cons. The technology, I've already mentioned that a little bit, is very overwhelming. I have started a Shopify store 3 or 4 times. And each time I get to a certain part, and it's just like, I can't do this anymore. It's just too overwhelming, too difficult to learn. I can't find how to navigate from one place to the other. I just closed a shop about 2 weeks ago, and I really had set up a pretty good website. I mean, it was really pretty, and I got further with it than ever, and I actually sold 1 item on it, but it was just too time consuming. It was just, I sat there and I tried to figure out how to change something from one of the headings or something, and I just could not get it. So I was like, that's it, I'm getting off of it. So I did. So the only online presence that I really have now, well, I have a little bit on eBay, but I'm not going to talk about eBay. You have to just about, like a yard sale, give everything away on eBay. But I do have a Etsy shop, and I have had several of those. I've had one for several years now. It's the NC Farm Girl, and it has some of these products that you see around here. You can't see all of them, of course, but it's a variety. And I started out putting my candle melts on it, but then I decided that I sort of want an Etsy shop dedicated just to candles and candle melts. So I've opened up Turner Candle Co. I was shocked that I could actually get that, the name. I didn't have to add a number behind it or anything. Turner Candle Co. came up, so that's my name. I did put 1 item there, but I've put it inactive right now until I get things just the way I want. I'm still testing candles, but I really haven't advertised it anywhere. I want to have the best products there. I want to feel good when I send a candle out of here. I want to know that it's safe and that it's going to be a really good experience for whoever's on the receiving end of it. So, like I say, the technology has been overwhelming. The Etsy shop is not. To me, it is the easiest platform. But I will tell you, I have only sold 18 items in several years on my other site. So no, I'm not exactly making a lot of money there. I haven't made any money. It costs me every month for fees a little bit, particularly if you let them advertise. But, you know, I don't have that much overhead here. I'm not having to rent this space or anything. So once I get my candles made, I will be putting them all on my Etsy, my new shop, and spend a lot of time and energy there. I just know that platform, and I know it's a whole lot easier than Shopify. And what I understand, Shopify, I should promote it myself, and I'm not really good at promoting myself. I just want to make the items, and this way Etsy, they promote it. Now I realize that there's all kinds of algorithms, just like on YouTube and everything, that it may be hit and miss, but if I make a good product, I'm hoping that it will come out okay, and I think it will. I just got to be patient this time. So the second thing, I had mentioned KineMaster before, is being a struggle, and it is, but I am getting better at that. And thank you all the YouTube video bloggers out there that have made the KineMaster and how to make YouTube videos. All of it has really been very helpful, and I am very appreciative of that. I'm hoping I'll be able to help somebody someday. Okay, I've mentioned my age a couple of times now. I'm proud to be 69 years old. Do I feel like I'm 69? Absolutely not. Most of the time I do not. But I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, and there's some that I enjoy, and most of these people are in their 20s, 30s, maybe even their 40s, you know, and they're not all making candles. I enjoy Isabel Page. Y'all might know her. She's really young. Hannah Lee Duggan, I think is her name. I watch Hannah. And then I watch a lot of the candle makers. Black Tie Barn, Memory Candle, Memory Box, Memory Candle Co. I think that's what it is. Memory Box Candle Co. I'm not really sure. Stanley Handcrafted. But all these folks are young. And I don't mind that they're young. I love that they're young. They have a lot of energy. They're able to teach me a lot. But I just wonder where the older folks are. I do watch a lot of whole food, plant-based diet, and there are older folks there. There's a lot of the young folks too in their bikinis, and yeah, they have more people watching them, but believe me, you don't want to see me in a bikini. But I do feel that my age is a negative, you know. And unless I'm Meryl Streep or Samuel L. Jackson, nobody wants to see an older person on a YouTube video. But I'm hoping that's not true. I'm hoping that's just me saying that, and maybe there is some value. Maybe some more people my age would start looking at it and get some inspiration. That's what I'm hoping anyway. So the next con sort of goes along with age, is my physical stamina. I like doing farmers markets and craft shows, but it takes a lot of energy to do that. Especially, I used to do a lot of soap, and soap is heavy. Candles are heavy. Candle melts, not so much. Jewelry, not so much. But even though the products might not be that heavy, you've got to transport everything. You usually have to set up a tent. You have to endure the heat, the cold, the rain, the sun, anything that happens. You got to be ready to move and get your stuff out really fast if it's outdoors. So I prefer the indoors, but still there is the physical stamina part, whether I'm able to set it up and tear it down and have the energy to interact with someone 8, 10, 12 hours a day without passing out. But I mean, I do have girls that will help me, my family, and my husband will help me when he's not busy or if I ask him. But I just hate to take their time. I would rather be able to do it myself. So the third thing, like I say, the con is the physical stamina. So there's probably other positives, probably other negatives that I haven't covered. But overall, so far, I think it's been a good experience. So yes, I definitely think the positive. I mean, I had like 6 positives and 3 negatives. So the positives outweigh the negatives a lot. But there's actually a positive that I didn't put in there, is having fun. Because I do have fun. I love what I'm doing. I think that's what counts. You need to love what you do. And I definitely do enjoy it now. So that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching. The next time that I'll be making a video, I probably will be making candles, candle melts, or something along those lines. So again, thanks for watching. And until I see you next time, please stay safe and have a little fun. Thanks.